Hello everyone, student. Today we are going to learn our fourth chapter, and that is Maharashtra before the times of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So in that chapter we have to learn how was the Maharashtra, what was the condition before the times of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, right? So what was the tradition, who was ruling there, who was the kings there, what was the condition of the villages, what was the condition of the businesses there, what was the condition of the farmers there. That's all things we are going to see in that chapter. So at the beginning of the 17th century CE, most of the territory in the Maharashtra under the control of Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar and Adil Shah of Bijapur. And also Mughal enters in the Khandesh there. That means in our region, in our area. We are living in the Khandesh, you all know that. So Mughal enters in the Khandesh there. And obviously their objective, the objective of Mughals, that is to expand their territories, to spread their territories, to conquer more area, to conquer more state, right? So that was their aim, that was their motive there. Then who was there? There were the Siddhi peoples. And who was the Siddhi people? Who comes from Africa there. And they, along the coastline of Konkan, they settled there. Again, after some time, there are Portuguese, Dutch, French and British who comes from the Europe continent for trading business, right? And we are under the rule of the Britishers there for many years, right? So first Portuguese, Dutch and French was there. Then in the last Britishers comes here in India and they started their ruling. So among them there are so much competition there for trading. Everyone want monopoly, right? So that was the condition of the Maharashtra. That was the situation of the Maharashtra. So remember, there are Adil Shah, there are Nizam Shah, there are Dutch, French, Portuguese, there are Mughals, there are Siddhi peoples, right? And they all are the outsiders. They all comes from the outside of India. So there was stiff competition among them to capture the market for trade, for business there. And when the Britishers come here, when the English people comes here, Portuguese had already settled here, right? So they had a rule in Goa and Vasai on the western coastline. So the British and Dutch and the French had found an entry through the medium of trading companies by the settling of factories, right? So that was the condition, and that people who comes from the Europe, they known as a topkar on the basis of their shape of their head, right? So our people known them as a topkar there. So if we want to learn, if we want to understand the situation of Maharashtra, it is most important, it is necessary to learn about the village, that called Mauja also, Kasba and Pargana, right? To understand the settlement, to understand the nature, to understand their officers, what was the Kasba there, what was the village there, what was the Mauja, Pargana, right? And their officer, who was controlling them, and what was their system there. So that all things we have to learn. So first one is a Kasba. So first one is a village, right? It's also called as a Mauja. So we all know that most of the people live in villages there. A village was also called as Kasba, as I told you, and the chief of that village, the important person or the officer of that village was the Patil. Patil was the officer or the chief of that village, of that Mauja there. He used to try bring maximum land under cultivation. When there was any dispute in village, the Patil resolved it and made peace. Right? So that was the work of that chief, work of that Patil. And the Kulkarni helped Patil in this work. Which work Patil doing in the Kasbah? In that work, Kulkarni was helping the Patil for the village in the Mauja. Also, Kulkarni kept the record of the revenue that was collected. Also, the Kulkarni have one more responsibility, and what is that? To record the to keep the record of that revenue which is collected from that Mauja, from that village there. Okay, so that was the officer, that was about the officer of the Mauja there. So again, there were various artisans in the village, right? There are various artisans in that village, and they are doing that artisan as their occupation, as their work. And the peasant gave a share of their agricultural produce to the artisans for the service they are giving to that village, giving to that Mauja there. And that share is known as a baluta, which share that farmers or the peasant given to the artisan for their service which they are doing for the Mauja, for the village. That share is known as a baluta. So that's it from the village. Next one is a Kasbah, right? So let's see what is meant by Kasbah. Kasbah is like a big village, right? That means in a size there is a bigger than the village there. It was usually headquarter of the Pargana. Usually it is not compulsory, but usually it was a headquarter of the Pargana there. And there are some example given there, that Indapur Kasbah of Indapur Pargana, Vai Kasbah of Vai Pargana, were the headquarters of those Parganas. Agriculture was the main occupation. Obviously, for the Parganas, for the village, for the Kasbahs, agriculture was the main occupation. So there were skilled artisans like carpenters, blacksmiths, etc. And in the Kasbah also there are very skilled, very intelligent artisans also. So there was usually a market called Pet, right? Adjacent to a Kasbah. The state and the Shete and Mahajan were the Watandar of the Pet. So there were mostly two officers there for the Watandar. There were two officers for the Pet, for the market, right? And there was a Shete and Mahajans. So they had a responsibility for the market, to control the market. And every village did not necessarily have a Pet. For the every Kasbah, for the every village, there is not a necessity, or there is not compulsory to have a market, right? Only some of the Pets or some of the Kasbahs had a market. The setting up of a Pet was a job of the Shetes and Mahajan, and to set that Pet, set that market, was a responsibility, was a job of the Shetes and Mahajan. For that they received some land from the government and some rights from the villagers. Obviously, if you are to set up the market in any village, in any Kasbah, you need both things. You need land for that market and you need the permission of that villagers. So they got both things, land from that chief person, land from that government, and right from the villagers there. The Mahajan maintained the accounts of the Pet, and Mahajan had a responsibility to maintain the account, maintain the all things of the pet of the market there. So that is again about the kasbah. So see, do you know box? You can see that do you know box. So we had some information for us in that box. So that is, as per order Veer Mata Jijabai, a pet was established in Pashan near Pune. It was called Jijapur, Malpura, Khelpura, Paraspura, Vithapura in Aurangabad are also new pets established in the name of Maloji, Kheloji, Parsoji and Vithoji respectively. Shivapur adjacent to Khed was a pet established in the name of Shivaji Maharaj. So there is a pet established by Veer Mata Jijabai, and that information is given there. So again some information about the word Budruk and Khurd. Nowadays also that words are used, but we don't know what is that. So let's see what is that. The word Budruk and Khurd are used to show that two villages are different, right? Sometimes what happened there are two villages of the same name. So at that time one is known as a Budruk and another will known as a Khurd. For a so the original town is Budruk, which is the first village of that name is known as a Budruk, and the new one is known as a Khurd. For example, Vadgaon Budruk and Vadgaon Khurd. That's it. Then let's see about the Pargana. So what is Pargana? Many villages comes together made a Pargana. That means it is a group of villages. But the number of that villages was not same in all Pargana. Different Pargana had a different number of villages there. And for example, Pune Pargana was a big Pargana. It considered 290 villages. There were 64 villages in the Chakan Pargana. Shivar Pargana was a small and it had only 40 villages. So that's it. There are different number of villages contained in different Pargana. But that is what is meant by Pargana? That is a group of village. That is many villages comes together. That known as a Pargana. And again the officers of the Pargana. So Deshmukh and the Deshpande were the Watandar or the officer of that Pargana. And what is their responsibility? The Deshmukh was the chief of Patils, right, in Pargana. So we learned that Patil was a chief of the village, right? Then in that group which village contained in that Pargana of that Patil, Deshmukh was a chief. Then the Deshmukh did at the Pargana level what the Patil did at the village level. So if the Deshmukh was a chief of that Pargana, so obviously Deshmukh did the same thing. Deshmukh had a same responsibility of that Pargana which Patil had of a village or Mauja there. The Deshpande was a chief of all Kulkarnis in the Pargana, and the same thing about the Kulkarni also. So chief of all Kulkarni was a Deshpande, right? And what was the work of that Kulkarnis? To help the Patil in their work and to keep the record of the revenue which was collected from that village. So Deshpande was a chief of all Kulkarnis. The same things Deshpande did in a Pargana which Kulkarni did in village or Mauja. The Deshpande did. The Watandar officer were linked between the people and government, and that Watandar officers were the link, were the way between the government and the people there. which are living in that pargana, which are living in that village or kasbah there. So in case of enemy invasion or drought, these watandar represented the governance of the people to the government.